Viewer discretion is advised for this love-themed podcast. The content may contain discussions and sensitive topics related to relationships, dating, and love. Some content may not be suitable for all listeners, especially those uncomfortable with open and vulnerable conversations. We encourage our listeners to practice self-care and to reach out to a trusted friend or professional if they need support. You have no friends, you have me. Welcome to the Lost Lover Boy podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the Lost Lover Boy podcast. For those of you who actually still remember what my name is, it's Demetri Wiley. I know it's been 3 weeks. Please forgive me. It's been a minute. But, I've been getting my life together. Sometimes that gets in the way. I've been making new music. I've made some journals. I done did this. I done did that. I've been doing a lot of things. Out of town constantly, trying to figure my life out. So thank you for being with me. That's why I love this platform we got, because it's a bunch of lovers who do understand. And for that grace, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. For everybody who's new, welcome to the platform. Welcome to the space, to the home of the lovers, where we try to create a safe environment for everyone who tends to be a helpless romantic. The way the world is going in this dumpster fire of a romantic scene. So thank you very much. What can I tell you? This is a disclaimer though, I know you heard that disclaimer message. Love is not always easy, right? Love can be very triggering. Talking about healing can be a very triggering thing. So I am your friend if you need help with that, right? Reach out. If I can respond, I will. This is what I'll tell you. Today's episode, I'm doing this episode to tell you who told us the most lies when it comes to love. I'm doing this episode to tell you who was the one that made us think High School Musical and high school was the same thing. Who was the one that made us believe love was bubblegum and sun drop kiss rainbows, and who did it? I can tell you right now who did it. It was movies, music, and entertainment, right? I'm going to tell you right now, listen. Movies fucked us up, right? Because what all movies did for us, movies, TV shows, everything you watched, right, that was shaped around love. See, these movies are generated and created within Hollywood, right? So I can display to you whatever you want me to. Let me tell you what movies did. Imagine you go to the movies. You go see Avengers, right? And you have no prior knowledge as a kid, right? You got no prior knowledge to any outside world. You know what you're going to go outside thinking? You're going to go outside thinking you motherfucking the Hulk. Thinking you can go over and flip a car. Thinking you strong enough to stop a bullet. That's what movies have done, right? It's created this narrative that plays on our imagination. That's what movies and music and TV shows are for, to play on our imagination, to pull on our heartstrings and make us feel something. Now, let me tell you something. Movies have created this false narrative on love, that it's all good, that there's no bad. I'm here to set the record straight for you. I'm here to tell you all of the lies that movies tried to cover up, all of the myths that, all of the things that movies did not say. I'm here to tell you right now. I'll start with a good one. Movies made it believe that love shaped compatibility, right? Two completely different things. I'm here to let you know right now, you can fall in love with someone you have nothing in common with. It's absolutely possible. You can fall in love with somebody who is completely and utterly not good for you. Most of you have probably done it. I've done it. We all have done it. It's life. That's what happens when you live in and you caught up in these rhythms. Listen, it's so easy to fall in love. Remember I told y'all this thing, and I still hope you guys remember. You know what trauma bonding is? Remember we learned that? Yeah, that's falling in love through heartbreak, through sadness, through depression. And you can fall in love with somebody you have nothing in common with. You see, when you watch a movie, movies make it seem like, okay, you find love, you find compatibility, right? Movies make it seem as if love and compatibility go hand in hand. It does not. I'll give you an example. Most of you have best friends, right? And if I ask you, what is your longest standing friendship? You probably say something like 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years even, you know? But you know why that is? That's because it's not rooted in love. It's led with compatibility, right? You and this person got so much in common. You and this person probably live close together. You and this person got a form of communication that the world may not understand, right? That's leading in compatibility. Movies have made us lead with the feeling of love. And for those who are listening to this podcast, I did a quote unquote with my hands, right? I did a feeling of love because like I've told you before, loving is a choice. To love someone is a choice. You have to make that choice every day, right? The most beautiful thing in the world is waking up and seeing someone laying across from you that chose you, that chose to be here, that wanted to lay in this bed. Right? That's the most beautiful thing ever, in my opinion. Right? But with movies telling us it's a feeling, it takes the choice out of it. Right? And it almost makes us feel guilty. Like, why am I not feeling this? I have to feel this. They feel this for me. So we can work through it and get it back. Movies have made it seem like you're supposed to fight. There's a fight and it's triumphant and you'll slay the dragon. And one day, Romeo and Juliet is one of the earliest love stories you could probably remember. And Romeo and Juliet told you, if love is not here, if my love dies, I die with it. If the person I love dies, I'm going to kill me off as well. And you know what happened when I don't know if y'all remember Romeo and Juliet like all the way through. You know what happened when Romeo like attempted to kill himself? Juliet woke the fuck up. Juliet woke up and Romeo was just dead on the floor. Right? Then she took her own life again. Double died. You know, it's quite misleading sometimes because it can lead you to believe that how you and a person talk to each other or how you and a person get along or how you and a person, it makes it almost seem as if it doesn't matter. When it absolutely matters. And I'm not telling you, this is not a podcast to tell you stop watching love movies and fantasies. This is, with every love movie you watch, I want you to think of the realism that comes behind it. I often talk about this movie, 50 First Dates. I love the movie, right? I don't love the movie for the idea of what the movie showed. Yeah, it shows some great shit. I love the movie for everything I thought outside of what was presented. Right? In the movie, for those who haven't seen it, I'm sorry, there's a lot of newcomers here. Let me explain it to them. In the movie, he goes on to help his wife who struggles with memory problems. He goes on to help her remember this love life they created. Day in and day out. Now, the movie didn't show you him every day trying to fight to make her remember. The movie just showed you him playing a movie of all the days that led up into that day. Them having a baby, them doing this, them doing that. The beauty in it is me knowing the realism that comes behind it. Do you know how much of an impossible feat that is for a man to overcome out of love for a woman? To say, baby, every day I'm going to try my best to remind you why we fell in love, why you're here. But you know, the craziest part about the movie is every day she wakes up, she's not in love. And by the end of 24 hours, you got to convince her to be in love again. Because the thing about the movie, even with her like laying down and waking up, a hour-long movie of y'all reflections ain't gonna make her fall in love again. So it's an impossible feat, and that through that impossible feat, I see the realism in it, and the realism in it can be a beautiful thing. I didn't take away make a video to remind somebody. That's not what I took away from the movie. I took away every day. You should make a small gesture in reminding this person why you choose them. That's what I took away, right? One of my favorite movies of all time. All I'm telling you is that love is kind of skewed this idea, right, of how it should. Movies have kind of skewed this idea of how love should play out, right? One, love does not equate for compatibility, right? I'll give you another one. Love does not solve relationship problems. I don't give a fuck what you think. I don't give a fuck what movie showed you that they was arguing and beefing and doing all of this shit. And a good memory came and they were just in love again. No, those relationship problems are still in that movie. You just didn't see the sequel because they didn't make it. You just didn't see it. See, in real life, right? Love cannot help a long distance relationship. Your plan, your decision making, your ability to meet in the middle is what solves that problem. Communication solves that problem. Right? But if you watch movies these days, or movies in your past, or because if you grew up a love movie fucking captive like myself, you couldn't help it, you know what I'm saying? But love didn't teach me how to communicate. I'm sorry, I keep saying love. Movies did not teach me how to communicate. Movies did not teach me how to forgive. Name one movie, and I want you to go deep in depth when you're thinking about this. Give me one movie that actually displays someone apologizing to fix the situation. Because you know why? It's probably hard to. Because apologizing is boring, right? We want conflict, drama, action, right? You want people fighting. You want violence. Give me one movie. You know, as I sit here and think, let's take Best Man, for example. You remember when, I don't know all the characters' names, but I know it was like Harper and somebody else. Morris Chestnut found out that his fiance had slept with his best friend years ago, before his wedding, right? Years before. This is probably the most realistic idea of love I've seen in movies in a very long time. And when people reflect on that movie, I hear so many people, ain't no way I could do it. Can't do it. I don't give a fuck. Hardest thing a nigga could do. Da-da-da, da-da-da. But in all actuality, Joseph just fucked your girl and you just act like it didn't matter. You fell out with him and act like it didn't matter. Same thing. You know what I'm saying? Movies do not provide a realism like that. You know? Movies do not provide what's actually, let me tell you, if I was to make a movie, right, about the current dating environment, it'll be a fucking men sleeping with a bunch of women, fucking, let me get in depth with you. It'll be a bunch of fucking diseases spread around in a fucking circle. It'll be fucking a bunch of commitment issues, people jumping to the next person. It'll be a bunch of doctor's appointments that niggas failing to make. It'll be fucking a bunch of people who's not ready. A bunch of people using their children as pawn pieces and all types of shit. That's the realism in today's dating world, right? It'll be a bunch of fucking gold diggers and a bunch of, right? But that ain't captivating. That doesn't pull on your heartstrings. All I'm saying is movies have provided this false narrative that has led us to believe all these other things don't matter. When in all actuality, trust and communication and loyalty and even compatibility when it comes to finances. All of these things matter. I'll be honest with you. Marriage was once this idea that you did in the name of God, right? But most people, including myself, I'll be honest, including myself, want to be married not for the idea of God's plan. Most people want to be married in terms of having a lifelong partner, having a best friend that they can look over to. Because do you know how many jobs a wife puts on her husband and a husband puts on his wife? You got to be my goddamn best friend, my lover, my homie, my co-pilot, my wingman, my chef, my therapist, my everything. You have to be everything for me. And movies don't break that down. Movies don't say how hard that is. It's not a lot of love movies you can see them going to counseling. Because it's not fun. It don't pull on the heartstrings, right? Movies give you one problem and you see them get over that one problem and barely get over that. You know what I'm saying? In all actuality, there's only a couple love movies. There's only a few of them. There's the player, don't want to be a player no more because he met somebody to stop him. There's the friends with benefits. There's the in love, fell out of love, fall back in love. There's the Disney, I gotta rescue her. There's only a few. And the thing about it is, those few have shaped us to believe that's how love should look. But love is not like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Love is so much more boring. Yo, life doesn't have to be. But love should equate for about 25, 50% of your relationship. Love is the sprinkles on top of the cake. But baby, we got to build a cake. And we build that cake with communication, trust, commitment, accountability, fucking the ability to show up. That's what we building this cake with. Right? But so many people get lost on this idea of what movies presented. Let me tell you something else. Right? This idea of being someone's lover. Movies skewed that too. Because movies made it seem like, you meet, you fall in love, you get married, you have sex. The sex supposed to be great forever. There's supposed to be no arguments. Fucking, let me tell you something about sex, right? If you have to study to be a doctor, if you have to study to be a lawyer, if you have to study to be an astronaut, you got to go to school for almost everything you do. There's training for every job there is in the world. Why do people feel like they don't need to learn to love? Why isn't learning to be there for somebody, learning how to show up, or learning how to communicate, or learning how to listen? Why is this things that the world just skips on over? We skip over these things like it's common sense. It's not. That's why there's so many fucking failed relationships, because this is not common sense. Right? And I'm going to stop and I'm going to take a second and I'm going to speak to you specifically, Miss Wiley, you. Right? I don't have all the answers. I am not a perfect man. I will not get it right every single time. Right? But if you try for me, just know I promise you, I'm showing up every day with my notepad, ready to learn what you're willing to teach. Movies have made it seem like there should be no conversation. Intuition should know. You're supposed to know how I feel. You're supposed to know how I think. You're supposed to know what I want. That's not the way life works. You don't hold your best friend to that same standard. You hold nobody else in your life to that standard, to that unrealistic expectation. So why would you hold the person you claim to have the most love for in the world to that standard? It's actually quite incredible how the ideas and things we've seen and how much it shaped us in this negative way. We took all these ideas and we just ran with it. But that's kind of what I would encourage anybody to do. Challenge everything. Challenge everything. Nothing is the way it is for no reason. Challenge everything. I go out telling my son, challenge everything, right? And what I've always done is challenge love. I've always said, why can't it be easy? Why can't we sit down and come to common ground? But what I've learned in that, not a lot of people want to be understood. It's boring to argue with someone and they say, baby, you know what? You're right. I absolutely understand exactly where you're coming from. I will do better. That's boring. Right? Nobody want to hear that. I do. Miss Wiley, I do. Listen, if I'm right, baby, and you can tell me I'm right and validate me and how I feel, oh, come on. That's why you the one for me now. If you're right, it is my job to make sure you know I understand exactly what you was trying to say and where you coming from. To say I've learned and I will do better. Right? But this whole idea of the way the world sees it, right? The thing about it is romanticism was fucked up through movies and TV shows and all of this shit. Then social media came along and double fucked it. It was already fucked. Now it's double fucked because now there's this idea that we can't talk about money. Baby, let me tell you something. How you handle your bills is absolutely important to me. If you gonna marry me, your ability to hold on to what you've garnered for better judgment of your kids, for better judgment of your husband, for the sake of your family. Baby, let's say I'm not here to make this financial decision. I need to know you are going to be there to make the correct one. You know, it's a super red flag to me. I'll be honest with you. Super red flag when I'm dating, right? Super red flag. If I'm out on a date and we doing something, and it may be super expensive, right? Let's say we going bowling, right? And y'all know bowling's price point, probably like $20 a person, maybe that, if that, maybe on the high side. I don't know. Let's say bowling was like, they said $60 a person, right? A major red flag for me when I'm going to pull out my wallet because I'm trying to make this person feel like their time is more than this $60 because I'm going to pay. When I go to pull out my wallet and put it on the table, she say, what the fuck is you doing? $60 to bowl? And I'm just sitting there like, I'm sitting there like, girl, I'll lay you down right now. Keep on fucking around. You goddamn right, $60 to my whoop. Girl, don't make me. Listen, and all that's telling me is you value mine just as much as you value your own. If you wouldn't do it, you wouldn't let me do it. You care. Major red flag. I mean, damn, I was saying red flag, green flag. Where's my mind? I ain't done a podcast in so long, my words all fucked up. Major green flag. I'm sorry, it's a major green flag for me. You sitting and caring what his money goes, baby? Yeah, I like that. I trust you. You know what I'm saying? That's a major green flag for me. It may not be for a lot of men, but for me it is. And I'm not saying in certain aspects you shouldn't pay that overpriced fee because in my opinion, food is something you should maybe spend a little more on. But baby, if you know you wouldn't do it, don't let us do it. Don't let me do it. You know? But that's where communication and compatibility comes in. I was raised poor, so for me to have money, okay, cool. That's one thing, cool. I'll spend it if it's something valuable to me. But if it's not, you know, can't fuck with it. And I love to know you're willing to protect that same thing. But, you know, movies and music and let me tell you what the biggest movies has probably done. Movies have made it seem like it's okay to lose yourself for love. This is me, goddamn May, whatever date it is right now, whatever time it is right now, this is me letting you know there is no love worth losing yourself for. There's no love worth forgetting your value, forgetting exactly who you are. There's no love worth it. Let it go. Because if that love can make you lose yourself, it's not for you. Love is supposed to be a supplement to who you are as a person. Love is an additive. Love grows. Love's water, right? I'm going to put love in and it's supposed to water and make it strong and make it grow and make it healthy. But the moment you put love in and it's draining you, bringing you closer toward depression, bringing you closer, building your anxiety up, building your trust issues. The moment love is doing all that, get the fuck away from it. Because it will damage you. And as long as you love somebody, quote unquote, for those listening, as long as you love somebody, you'll let it. But the more you let it, the more it shows you're not loving yourself correctly. You understand what I'm saying? The more you do that, the more it shows you're not loving yourself correctly. I promise you, I assure you, when my wife comes along, I will know it. Everybody be like, how you gonna know it? I will know it. Compatibility will be at an all-time high. Communication will be at an all-time high. Understanding, my trust in this person will be at an all-time high. And let me tell you why. All of that, because our effort for one another will be at an all-time high. People be like, relationships are boring if you don't argue. Fuck out of here. Well, call me bored, because I don't want it. Maybe I don't want to go back and forth about something we can come to a conclusion on. Would you rather be here at home having this argument on vacation? Would you rather be here at home having this argument on our honeymoon? You tell me, because flights could be booked. What are we doing? And the more we argue, the more we taking steps backwards. I used to think like, damn, I was in a 5-year relationship. Damn, I was in a this long relationship. I'm not a man who feels like I have to wait to get married. If I know, I'll do it right away. First time in, 1 year in, 2 years in, right? But that understanding has to be there. That compatibility has to be there. This person has to be a compliment to myself. I have to be a compliment to who this person is. Building them up as they build me up, and that'll be a for sure tell sign we ready to build a child up. A for sure tell sign that we should do this for the rest of our days. You understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you? Right? Everybody be asking like, why do men make women wait so long? Or why do men, they don't know if it's the right one or not? People be like, men know right away. Okay, cool. Yeah, man does know if they could marry you, but that don't mean they would. They know if they could. That don't mean they would, right? Or they should. That don't mean they should, right? A man will argue with you for 10 years straight, attempting to figure it out, attempting to want to find common ground, and y'all never get married because you never did. There's this common conception that says men marry who in front of them when they're ready to get married. False. Fucking false. That's false. Men marry who it's easy with when they're ready to get married. A man, let me tell you something. A man may not even be ready to get married, but he'll marry you just because he ain't got no other choice. He'll marry you because you're so perfect for him. If you come in and build the man up to where he can see a stronger image of himself, to where he can visibly see the change you've brought to his life, physically see it, emotionally see it, he'll have no choice but to marry you. Because you're the best thing for him. That's the one men marry. Those are who men marry. Men don't marry who they fall in their lap when they choose to. No. Because I ain't finna argue if I'm not finna marry you if I'm arguing with you. Simple. Another thing movies got wrong, right? Movies let us to believe there's one person for us. That the one is out there. Soulmates, no. No. Let me tell you something. There's a bunch of things that play on your life, right? Where you live is one of them, right? So if there's a soulmate, then me flipping a coin and moving to where that coin landed will have an effect on who I date, which in turn will have an effect on who I'm married, which in turn will have an effect on who I'm with. There's a bunch of factors that play into this. Now, I know we can look at the divine and say we are where we're supposed to be. Okay, I do agree with that. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. You are going exactly where God intended you to go. I do believe in it. But there's this thing called free will. And free will allow you to fuck a relationship up. But could that mean your soulmate's behind you? Could that mean you met him and then you let him go? The thing about it is, I believe, and I could be different from a lot of you guys, I believe that, me personally, there's a million people I can get it right with. A million people I'll be a great husband for, right? But I don't believe there's a million people that'll be a great wife to me. I don't believe there's a million people who'll understand me in the depths of which I want to be understood. I don't believe that. But I believe my person, those will align. In terms of my person, those things will fall into one accord. I'll be right for them, they'll be right for me, and boom, we got it. That's what I was looking for. That's marriage, that's kids, that's the family unit. You understand what I'm saying? So it's tricky. But movies have led us to believe that there's one singular person and we just have to meet this person and we're good. People be waiting their whole life to meet this one person. What if that one person was your ex 3 exes ago? But you were not ready to take on that accountability when you were with them. What if your one person was that best friend you refused to hook up with because y'all was just so good at friends? But let me tell you, Miss Wiley, if I come along and you try to friend zone me, baby, I'm doing everything I can to bust up out of that if I know that you are for me. Because there's no one size fits all. You do your best to heal and be ready for love when it comes along. You do your best to make room in your heart for someone when they come along. You do your best to minimize all insecurities you may have so you're not reflecting onto that person when they come along. Love is more about you loving yourself than you loving somebody else. You give yourself love and love will find you. You give yourself grace and through grace, love will find you. Love is out there. Love is strong. Love is potent. But love is a choice. And when you meet the right person, you'll know to choose them because choosing them is choosing the correct thing for yourself. I hope I made that pretty simple for you guys. I thank everybody who tuned into this episode of this podcast. If you're new, like I said, go binge watch the rest of them. Check them out. Let me know how you feel about it. Comment on a few. Tell your mama about this podcast. Tell her subscribe because you know who I tell about every single episode? I sit and I talk to my granny. Granny, if you're listening, I love you, baby. I love you. And I will continue to do my best to make you proud in everything I'm doing. I'm doing a lot. I'm getting offered to speak on other people's podcasts. I got a festival here in Chicago I was asked to be a part of. I got shows coming up. I'm looking to throw my own show. I know I've been talking about it for a while, but it is coming. I got this project I'm working on. It's called Been Too Long. Right? It's been too long. I said, one of my bars in the first intro song, I said, I can't even give y'all that because I feel like y'all gonna be like, oh damn, I need a little more of that. That's always how y'all do. For everybody new, thank you again for coming to this platform. We almost at 10,000, and I told you when we hit 10,000, we drop an exclusive podcast merch with the disclaimer message on it, exclusively for those who watch the podcast. And you could tell more people. It'll probably be a scan code on it, so they can scan it and you can send them straight to the episode. That'll be fire. The journals, Lost Lover journals. There's a healing journal, self-healing journal, and there's a dating journal that's coming very, very soon. I'm going to whisper this. Listen, the self-healing journal is already up on Amazon, right? But I don't want y'all to hear that, though, because the dating journal will be up no later than this Friday. I'm whispering it because y'all can go buy it, but that dating journal is also important. We're not officially starting our journaling until mid-June, as summer comes. I think the beginning of summer is June 20th, maybe. Clubhouse. For everybody who watch on Clubhouse, you're going to need this journal because a lot of the prompts going forward will be based off questions from this journal. Like one of the self-healing challenges says, go out to a store, buy a picture frame, and print out one of the pictures in your phone and frame it. And I want to know why you chose that picture. I want to know why it's significant to you. I want to know what it means to you. Right? One of the challenges in a dating journal, right? Go out and hit somebody with your corniest pickup line. Corniest. And see if you could bag that. I just want to know. You know what I'm saying? Because, listen, girl, I don't know if you're from Tennessee, but you're the only 10 I see. Hey, listen. I took that from Hannah Montana. I took it from Hannah Montana back in the day. I think it was like, I forgot her brother name on the show. You know who the fuck you was. I'm sorry. But it was a little corny. Did you fall from heaven? Did it hurt? God damn it. Did it hurt when you fell from heaven? Huh? Don't make me give you another one. I will gladly give you another one. Hey, stop playing with me. What the fuck is that taste? Y'all tastes like your phone number. Girl, I am good at this. Don't play me. Listen, thank you again for checking it out. What can I tell you? What is that shit I be saying? Peace out. I think it's time I finally try to find myself. I've been running from love, just trying to hide from all this pain I felt. Look, trying not to be the joke in the deck of whatever cards get dealt. They say a star still gotta let them align themselves.